Welcome to It Can Be Done Functional Preparation for the State Standards. I'm Candace Fugate. I am a life skills teacher for 7th and 8th graders with a few 9th graders thrown in.
And I'm Kimberly Lebowski. I'm a speech language pathologist. I serve grades 7 through 12, and my kids have 3 life skills classrooms, 1 middle school and 2 at the high school. Today we're going to be your guides for the next 60 minutes, and we use that word guide intentionally because we want you all to know that our vision is this to be a very interactive session. We actually labeled it as a roundtable when we submitted it because we want to share our ideas, get feedback from you, and then let you all share your ideas as well. So that really together we can problem solve our way through these new expectations of preparing for the new iStar assessment. So this is our official disclaimer that our presentation is based on our experiences and that we're not taking credit for any of the research or any of the development of some of these things that we're going to present, but we simply want you to leave us some tools that feel that you can go out into your classroom and be more equipped with. So it goes very well with the guest speaker that if we want you to leave with one thing, we're not trying to change the way you're teaching or telling you what you have to do, but if you can leave the conference with one idea that you can go back and implement in your classroom, then it might make a difference for you.
We'd like to start with a video of how we suspect most teachers in our profession feel, especially right now while everything's changing.
Some people like to climb mountains. I like to build planes in the air.
I grew up wanting to be on a plane, wanting to be up this high.
Sometimes the temperature up at altitude will reach 60 below. It's crisp, it's refreshing.
You never know what you're going to come across up there. A&D, Ballard, owls.
These people back here, that's why I come to work. That's why I build airplanes in the sky.
We're not just building a plane here, we're building a dream.
I love this job.
I got a lot of facts up here. When I look over there and I see that little kid, I look at his eyes, that's all the facts I need.
EDS, managing the complexities of the digital economy.
We just wanted to give you a little bit of background. In July 2013, we became familiar with Project Success. So we just took the definition of Project Success straight from their website. It's a resource center developed to assist schools and school districts in building local capacity to ensure that students with more significant disabilities can successfully participate in the Indiana Common Core and make progress in their educational programs. We know that schools can be involved with Project Success in a variety of ways. Avon developed an implementation team and started participating in trainings, webinars, the whole we went in. It became clear that we needed to either jump ship or grab a paddle. Obviously, we grabbed our paddle and started rowing.
From our work with Project Success, we found 2 key points that seem to be game changers in the way that we're teaching in our classrooms. The first is the incorporation of the Indiana Common Core in preparation for the new iStar, and then also core vocabulary to support the communication needs with these academics. So these are the 2 things that we're going to be focusing on today, because by incorporating these, this is what has allowed us to see potential in our students that we would not have seen if we were still focusing solely on functional life skills. Okay, so Candace is going to talk a little bit about academic standards to start out with, and when you came in, you should have had 2 index cards on your chair, a brightly colored one and then a white one. When we're finished talking about standards, we do want to have some interaction and have some feedback from you all as well. So actually speaking, if you have any questions, if you have any ideas that you want to share with the group, any concerns that you'd like some feedback on yourself, go ahead and jot those down on that white card, and we'll be collecting those and kind of having some group time in a few minutes. All right, so I'm going to let Candace take over.
The Are You Balanced activity is what started to change our mindset. The focus being on balance, not replacing all of our functional activities, but finding a balance between the functional and the higher academic standards. Real quick on the activity, you just list out your classroom activities. Take your schedule and list your functional activities and list your academic activities. Things that you want to look for when you're doing this is make sure there are approximate equal amounts of academic and functional, balancing the activities throughout the AM and the PM. When I first did mine, we did most of our academics in the morning, so we've now balanced that out. Balancing time with teacher with time with the instructional aides in your classroom. We've also given you the link to find this worksheet. Here's the worksheet they gave you. You don't have to use it if you just list them out. Just a couple of tips that we found helpful and really helped us change our mind while we did this. Walking it through with your team, your OT, PT, SLP, other life skills teacher, whoever that team may be. Define the purpose of an activity. Examples for the purpose of calendar would have been reading, answering questions, looking up information, and that may be different for each child. Not every kid in my room is doing calendar for the exact same reasons and getting the exact same thing out of it, but it is a shared activity. Changing your mindset, not just your schedule. So finding ways to embed academics during functional activities. Cooking lends itself to measurement. Researching the weather and reading the thermometer fits into your math curriculum. Graphing personal preferences during share time. Looking at maps. Look at maps related to current events such as the Olympics. Using ULS supplemental activities, like within the News to You section of the ULS, that relate to the current events, and those tie in lots of academics as well. Here's my current schedule. This is what it looks like. I color-coded it for you. Red are academic times. Green are times where we're doing what we could consider academic and functional. And then functional are blue. So their name activity, that is more academic. Share time can be both, depends on what we're doing with it. Math is definitely academic, snack is functional. I want to point out that we work to keep academic times no more than 30 minutes. I found that kind of what works best for my kiddos. This is also the most beneficial. Groups time is the only time where it looks like it's a 45-minute time period, but it's actually 2 20-minute groups. So if you see that, I want you to know I didn't lie to you. Getting organized. This is probably my favorite part. Keep a copy of your current grade level as well as the grade levels immediately below in a planning binder. Gave you the website where to get those and where to print those. Include a copy of the document that the Indiana Department of Ed has developed outlining specific standards to be covered and their corresponding test cycle, and gave you the link to that as well. I just want to show you my binder. It literally is this big. And in it here, I have all of those listed. So when I go to look and decide what our lessons are going to be for the week or for what we're going to work on next, it's here and I know what we need to cover. I pass it around, but it now has confidential information about my students in it. So if you want to see it, I'll have it up here at the end so that it's open to the areas that it's okay to look at. And then we just put up what it looks like on the Department of Ed website, where to find the documents that tell you the when and where the standards are going to be tested. Element cards are on the NCSEC website. You can access them pretty easily. Reference the NCSEC element cards to gain ideas for teaching a concept. Use these as a framework to create your own lesson plan. A modified blank template of an element card can be helpful for adding your own ideas and activities. I have included one in there for you, a couple of blank ones in the back of your packet. Just find something that works for you. Be sure to include modifications that encompass a variety of levels of students in your class. Don't be afraid to continue or repeat activities from a lesson for several weeks. Sometimes it takes us longer to get through something. Progress monitor to assess if a lesson needs more time to be taught and when exposure is sufficient. When I first started working with the Nixon materials, I used the element card on the left to create the lesson plan on the right. I beefed up the instructional strategies and only included what I felt would work best for my students. I also added modifications for ability levels, and those are in the back of your packet as well, because it's real hard to see here.
So this is the one that's on the NCSEC website for this particular standard, and this is what Candace looked up first, and then it just gives you supports and instructional strategies. She took it a step further, and we kind of went through and said, okay, how can we actually come up with some activities, and what manipulatives do we need, and how can we break this out to the different levels within the classroom. So this is how it started, and then she's adding her own personal information that's customized to her class. That's one way of doing it.
And then if there isn't an element card, I have created my own lesson plan card, I call it. This is the current lesson plan format I'm using, which looks more like a unit lesson plan. Each bullet point in the suggested strategy, so each one of these points is a lesson that could stand alone. This lesson, we are currently in the middle of it and on probably week 2 of doing this unit lesson with my students over integers. New parts that I found to be helpful in creating these is I've added prior knowledge, things that they need to know before we can start this lesson. So maybe we need to go back and review those things. Manipulatives and visuals, just a list of those things so that I know what I need for my lesson beforehand. Resources and how to access them. And then and the modifications for ability level are there as well. Right now I'm only modifying for lower level students.